Hi, class. I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about some figurative language. And these are all words that I know you've heard before. Maybe you don't really remember what they mean or how to use them. This is going to help us a lot during our poetry unit. So I'm actually going to keep this in our poetry section on Google Classroom just in case you need to come back to it. But I just wanted to go through these and I'm going to make a little PowerPoint because this is old school. This is not even on my Google Drive, so I have to do it like this. All right, so here we are, figurative language. So you may have heard the word simile before. These simile compares two different things. So it uses words like or as. So if you hear something compared um, using the words like or as, that is a simile. So for example, if you were to compare your sister and the wind, right, those are very different. You could say, my sister is as quick as the wind, or my sister is like the wind. Those would be similes. Okay. Um, if I was doing this in class, we would go over this together, but I'm going to go through this quickly here. So this was a little poem, and there are some similes in here. My school is like a home away from home. Notice the word like. Remember, we're looking for like and as. When I go there, I am never alone. Oh, I miss you guys reading this. My classmates are like my brothers and sisters. They aren't actually your brothers or sisters, but they're like them. Especially Emma. I'm sure going to miss her. I could put any of your names in there and change her to him. When I leave this place, I'll be sad as a rainy day. I'll be sad as a rainy day. Unlike rain, my memories will never go away. This year was as long as a highway. Not really for us, it went quick. I can't believe today is the last day. I wasn't expecting that. I forgot that this was the poem. I didn't really think about it when I was reading it before. But so some similes, right? My school is like a home, so we're looking for like and as. Okay. My classmates are like my brothers and sisters. I'll be as sad as a rainy day. This year was as long as a highway because obviously you can't be a rainy day, but you can be sad like a rainy day. Okay, the next one is metaphors. And I don't know if you paid attention in the back of the room, but I did have figurative language up there for poetry, but obviously we're not in school right now. But I know you've heard some of these words before. So a metaphor can compare two different things. So it's uh, different than a simile because a simile has the words like or as to compare, but a metaphor does not. Okay, so they're kind of the same, but not. And it's very important that you realize similes use like or as. Okay, so if I wanted to say my fingers are as cold as icicles. Okay, a simile would be my fingers are as cold as icicles. But if I use it as a metaphor, I would literally say my fingers are icicles. Okay, so it's like a very literal. Obviously, my fingers are not icicles; they're fingers. But a metaphor is just making that a little bit more pronounced. All right, so here are some metaphors here. My pencil is a key to my creativity. As I write of a world far away, my pencil is my ally on my test. It's not really. It's always sharp, helping me every day. My pencil is a compass. Okay, it could say my pencil is like a compass. That would be a simile, but it's saying my pencil is a compass. It often shows me the way. Thank you, pencil. All right, so there's some of our metaphors. All right. And next figurative language word that you'll hear is idiom. Okay, and an idiom is an expression that has a special meaning. Sorry. The words used in an idiom often have a different meaning than what you would find in the dictionary. So here are some examples. It's raining cats and dogs. It's not actually raining cats and dogs, right? They're not falling from the sky, but it just means that it is raining very hard. Okay? So here are some idioms we'll look for here. This is called I'm confused. My teacher says homework is a piece of cake. I think she's crazy, for goodness sake. My mom told me to hit the hay. Sometimes I wonder if she's okay. Should I eat my homework? Why is she mad at the hay? I just don't understand what they are trying to say. I told my teacher I doubt you're right. Oh, that's the wrong your. But just to be polite, I took one bite. I told my mom I won't hit the hay, but I'd like to go to bed. Is that okay? So idioms are homework being a piece of cake, right? If I say, oh, this is a piece of cake, it's not actually a piece of cake. Um, hit the hay means go to sleep, all right? The next word we're going to look at is called hyperbole. And a hyperbole is an extreme exaggeration. And I think that you probably know that I use these all the time without realizing, and you do too. I've been waiting 10 years for you to answer this. Or I've been on hold for, hours on the phone. I'm so hungry I could eat a horse. It's a really big exaggeration of how hungry you're feeling, how mad. Um, you know, if you so I know sometimes I remember saying to my kids, I'm so mad, my blood is boiling. My blood's not actually boiling, but it's just an extreme exaggeration. Okay? So here are some hyperboles. I'm smarter than you are because my IQ is higher than Albert Einstein's. I'm stronger than you are because I can wrestle 10 alligators at one time. I'm more liked than you are because I have over 1 million friends on Facebook. I don't even know if you guys use Facebook. I'm more skilled than you are because I can catch 100 fish with one hook. I'm faster than you are because I can run a mile a minute. And I'm better than you are because this one was about me and you are not in it. This is kind of a mean poem. But it shows you, kind of how somebody can gloat. Do you remember that word gloat from Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe? Remember Edward was gloating to himself about how he would be if he were king. Okay, so here are some hyperboles. Wrestling 10 alligators at one time. Over 1 million friends. Okay. Onomatopoeia. You should remember this from first grade. This is when you first learned it. And an onomatopoeia is a sound word. Okay, a word that you would use to imitate a sound. So, for example, zip is the sound effect that you may use for your zipper, boom for an explosion, or buzz for an alarm clock. And if you remember when we were writing our personal narratives, we had the leads that we talked about, and you had that sheet in your writing folder about different beginnings, and one of them was sound effect, right? And that would be onomatopoeia. All right, boom, I heard as the old stadium crumbled. I have to admit my feelings were all jumbled. I love the old one with all the history. Why they did it is still a mystery. The Babe, Garrick, Mick, and Jolt and Joe. Who will be the new stadium's hero? Splash, splash went my tears. But now the new stadium will hear my cheers. Boom, slash, those are all sound words. Onomatopoeia. Okay, now we have alliteration. An alliteration is when the same letter sound is used in multiple words in a sentence. This will be really easy for you to remember. So tongue twisters are a really good example, and actually one of the poems that we're going to do is a tongue twister. So you can think of things like Peter Piper picked a peckle pickle peppers. Okay, that's alliteration. There's the P in the beginning of all of that. Um, you know, Allie the alligator ate what's an A word that you can think of for ate a lot of apples. Okay, that's alliteration. Cartoons for all. Scooby seems to solve the crime. Always just in the nick of time. Fred Flintstone fires his best friend. Okay, see the S, S, S. Jetsons, George, Jane, Elroy, and Judy. Poor old Spacely is always so moody, singing songs of blue as Papa Smurf. Gargamel always trying to steal his turf. Mystery, laughter, space, and fun. There's a cartoon for everyone. So you can add alliteration into any type of poem. Okay, and this is actually a couplet because it has these two lines here and the ending words rhyme. And we'll get more into that when we do couplet poems. Scooby seems to solve, Fred Flintstone. We went all through these. Okay, personification. So personification's when non-human objects are given human characteristics. When you make something that's not human and you give it life like it is, okay? So some characteristics. So the trees were dancing in the wind. The trees don't actually dance. It's where you take things that are not human and you give it human characteristics like dancing, right? The cake was calling my name. Cakes can't really talk, but what it means is I wanted to eat some of that cake. Okay. So here's some personification in here. Tornado. As I sat there next to the window pane, I wondered if life would ever be the same. The sky was crying. No, it wasn't. The clouds must be blue. Why they are sad, I have no clue. Power lines sleeping on the street. Flashes of light all trying to meet. I hear the wind singing a song of sorrow. I wonder what's in store for tomorrow. So the sky was crying. That's where we're giving the sky human characteristics because the sky can't cry. Okay. The clouds must be blue, as in sad. Power lines sleeping. Okay, imagery. Imagery is when a writer uses detail, very great detail, to describe something, and it can create a mental image or a feeling or a mood. If you remember from the last little PowerPoint I did about mood in poetry. So, for example, the scorching sun beats steadily on my hot skin. Can you kind of picture like how hot you would be? The exquisite jeweled box fit into the palm of my hand. So it's very descriptive. I could just say, the sun was hot, but instead it's telling you it's being very descriptive and detailed. The scorching sun beats steadily on my hot skin. Okay? Soft and fluffy and very moist. Vanilla is my favorite choice. A party or reason, it does not matter. Eggs and flour, then mix the batter. Can you picture that cake? The sweet smell as it bakes, the only thing better is how it tastes. Smooth frosting and sprinkles make it yummy, watering my mouth and grumbling my tummy. Some like soft pound or even creamy cheese. Can I have another piece of cake, please? Okay, soft and fluffy, very moist, sweet smell. Okay, these are all really detailed parts of that. Okay, so again, these are some words that you're going to see as we start to dive into poetry and learning about different poems, and we will start that this week. But I just wanted to give you a little preview of some words that you're going to hear, and again, I will keep this pinned in our poetry section in Google Classroom so that you can refer to it if you need. Okay, see you later.